Breaking news as we come on the air in the California governor's race. Congressman Eric Swalwell is suspending his campaign amid allegations of sexual assault by a former staff member. In an announcement just posted on his social media page, Swalwell writes, quote, "To my family, staff, friends, and supporters, I am deeply sorry for mistakes in judgment I've made in my past. I will fight the serious false allegations that have been made, but that's my fight, not a campaign's."
That ends only part of Swalwell's mounting troubles. A growing number of his Democratic colleagues are calling for him to resign from Congress, which is back in session tomorrow. And the district attorney in New York is opening a criminal investigation into the allegations made against him. We will continue to follow any more developments in this story and report them to you as they come in.
Our political reporter Josh Haskell is on the phone with this breaking news. He's been following this governor's race closely. So, Josh, what does this mean immediately?
Well, Liz, this has completely upended the California governor's race, affecting not just the Democrats in the race, but also the Republicans. As you know, that the top two finishers will move on past June. And Eric Swalwell, he was the front runner for the Democrats in this race. In some of the polls, you saw Tom Steyer was making some movement, Katie Porter, but it was really Swalwell consistently that was at the top. He is no longer in this race. Of course, he is still in Congress, so questions do remain as far as will he resign from Congress? There's votes being discussed to expel him from Congress and other members of Congress, so we'll have to watch that closely. But as far as the governor's race goes, it is going to be a fascinating week. I can tell you that campaigns are already reaching out to me with endorsements. Obviously, we know that Swalwell had a lot of big endorsements in this race and a lot of support from a lot of unions in the state that have a lot of money, including the Teachers Union and SEIU California. And now big questions remain, Liz and Jory. Where does that money go? I know that one representative has already switched their endorsement from Swalwell to Tom Steyer. And so the Steyer campaign reached out to me about 20 minutes ago wanting to talk about that. And so we're just going to see a lot of movement. And it also really opens the race for possibly someone like Matt Mahan or even Katie Porter.
Right. Well, there was concern on the Democratic side that there were too many Democrats in the field, and it could wind up being two Republicans on the ballot in a runoff in November. Ironically, could this actually help Democrats to have one of the frontrunners drop out and consolidate some of the vote on the Democratic side?
Without a doubt, but you still have the same problem. There are still, according to Democrats in California, too many Democrats in this race. You still have 7 big-name Democrats. You still have Democrats like Tony Thurmond, Betty Yee that have been polling very low. Tony Thurmond at 1%. You also have Antonio Villaraigosa, Javier Becerra polling towards the bottom in this race. They are all on the ballot. They are committed to staying in. And so you're still going to run into that issue of, well, you know, will a Republican move on? Could 2 Republicans move on? But I think what this really does is, you know, where will Swalwell's support go? And I think you're going to see every Democrat in the race, even those low-polling Democrats, fight for those votes, fight for those endorsements, and fight for that money, because there's a lot of money in California politics, and big-name Democrats and those that were supporting Swalwell now need to find somewhere else to go.
Yeah.
And Josh, as Jory had mentioned at the top of the hour, this is just part of Swalwell's issue right now. Congress heads back tomorrow. Do we have any indication from Swalwell's people if we'll be seeing him in the halls of Congress tomorrow, and what happens with the seat that he holds right now?
It's a really good question, Liz, and we don't know his exact whereabouts or plans for tomorrow. But I can tell you that this story of allegations and accusations against Eric Swalwell had been brewing for about a week to 10 days. And then when it broke on Friday with multiple stories and accusers coming forward, if you may remember, Friday night, Eric Swalwell comes out with a video that still shocks me, even though now he's no longer in the race, where he doubled down, he dug into this race and said, you know what, I'm not going anywhere, and I'm innocent. And that was his attitude Friday night. Now, obviously, it has set in for him that there is not a path forward in this governor's race, so he's decided to suspend his campaign. But what he does in Congress, he's vowing to fight these allegations. And so I do think it's going to be fascinating to see. I think at this point, he probably does try to stay in Congress. And we know that he was sending cease and desist letters on Friday to people that were accusing him of these actions.
Yeah, and as we know,
it's going to be fascinating.
The House is very tight right now. Republicans can only lose a couple votes, and Democrats need every single vote they can get in the House right now. We'll see how that plays into any potential decision that Swalwell will make moving forward. Our political reporter Josh Haskell, thank you for that insight. We will check back in throughout the night.